Gianni Namona here. How are you all doing? It is 2nd of January. How was everyone's first day of the year? Yesterday's stream was a bit shorter, but I took some time off. Ended up watching a whole lot of Hololive. I just kind of took a relaxing time, but now I'm fully recharged. And we actually do have a whole lot to do today. Because we are actually gonna bring our game into a playable state. We are gonna finish most of the enemy's movement patterns. We're gonna give our shooting enemies projectiles. We're gonna implement the timer. Let me look to make sure that I don't forget anything. We're gonna implement the apartment scene, though it will be mostly empty for now. But it will give us a start point. And also, it's going to give us a point to return to when we die. And last but not least, we're gonna implement the anomaly subspace. This is where eventually the final battle is going to take place against Mega Yorick. So that is our plan for today. So let's get into it, alright? Shall we? Game start. Just making sure. Yep, everything working. Another thing we are gonna have to adjust is the A-star. Because I doubled the size of the level. Which also means we have to adjust the spawning positions. To make sure that is all working. You see, I was doing a test run last time. I was doing a little test earlier. Just to make sure everything is still working, because I removed a lot of the A-star duplicates. Because in the end, we only need one A-star game object in our game. And yeah, so I did that. So now let's go ahead and stop the testing mode. And then we're gonna go into this one, because this is the only one that still has the A-star. We're gonna size you up so we can actually see. And so, first of all, we have to double the size to 800. Already we see that it, for the most part... Wait, it's 800... Wait, why is it thousands? I said 800. Alright. Okay, why is this... Is 800 too much? But 400 wasn't 400 barely enough? Okay, 800 is too much. So let's go with 600? It is... What the hell? I am confused. Why is it so much? $60? Let's go 80. Wait a minute. What is... I am confused. Oh, is it this? One... $100 is like this. Then 140. Okay, but now it should... No, 100 should be fine actually. Right? Yeah, we have, but we have to move the center point to, let's say 200. $300? Let's do a little scan. Okay. Here, now we see clearly. First of all, we need a little bit more width. Let's go 120. Is this too much? This is too much. The more nodes we have, the more it's gonna need computing power. So I won't go too much. 110 is also too much. $105. 105 should work. And then move that by 10. Mm. 20? Still, let's try 30. 35? 35 looks good. 35 looks good. So let's give this a scan to see. Yeah, 35 looks good. Pretty much encompasses all of this, but also the height got messed up. So let's fix that. And say... 10. And 10 is too much. 8. And the center, we're gonna move to... Wait a minute. Might just be that it's very zoomed out. 7. So that these rooms are still cut off. Alright. We have these cut-off rooms. Let's give this a scan. Okay. This is good. This is good. I don't know why this one is different. But it works, and that is what matters. But also, why are you cutting off that much? Let's say 1.3. And give this another scan. Ooh, that's fine though. We can. What does 1 look like? Still pretty much. What does 0.5 look like? And press scan. Ooh, that is no good. 0.5 is no good. Point 8. Okay, let's just leave this at 1. Okay, we cannot do this, that it doesn't do this giant one. In that case, I'd rather keep you at 2? Unless this actually does make a difference in the height. And 2 is maybe too much. 1.8. It makes a difference, but 0.5. What about this? Okay, 1.5 is ideal, I think. Maybe 4? Three? You want to keep the height, so... And the height gets lost before... Let's keep it at 1.5 then. Yeah. Let's keep it at 1.5. That's good. Oh. At some places it does. Then 1.6. $1.8. Okay, 1.8 does make. I think 1.8 is the best result here. Now, the enemy rooms kind of got jumbled, so we have to check each spawn manager to see what it's actually at. So yeah, most of these don't use A star anymore, but that's fine. So, 4. What was 3? 3 spawn manager was at 244, 344. So 4 needs to be at 344 to 444. $344 to 444. Then 5 needs to go 444 to 544. Six needs to be 544 to 644. 7 needs to be 644 to 744. If I did everything correctly, the spawn should be good now. Also, I saw Gigi playing the Rage game Agree this morning, and I was like, what if I played Agree? Do you guys want to see me playing a Rage game? I think it would be kind of fun. It does look like kind of a fun game. Even if it's a Rage game. But yeah, let's deactivate the A star and test this. Deactivate. And let's test. If I did everything correctly, which I hope, then the entire level should be built now. Let's check. Yeah, that looks good. Console. Oh, so they do need the A star after all. Even if it's technically useful, they just need it in the script. Okay. But all in all, this is working. We have the entire level spawning. Wait a minute. I just noticed something. That we can't have that. But how do I fix this? Also, let's... how do we do this? Duplicate. And then just put the duplicate into the spawn manager. Duplicate 6 times. Or now 5 times. And then spawn manager and spawn manager. Now each of you needs to actually have the spawn manager assigned to you. Wait, why do you not have... duplicate. So this is what you call spaghetti code, I think. But at the very least, it works, you know? Hi, Jerry. How are you doing? Now let's try this again. Did I forget one? Where's the critical one? Where's the red one? There. Yeah, so this is also not... It still gives me an error. So... what do we do here? How do we do this? Obviously, this isn't working. So, let's delete all these. I do have an idea though, how to solve this. The question is, can I do this? The answer is yes. But this might also cause errors, so I might have to change the code a little bit to account for this. To say that only if it's inactive should it activate it. So we're gonna do that next. Project. We're gonna go into our spawn manager script. And put in if if diff equals false. This is fine. And put this into here. Let's test this. Shall we? And I love you too, Jerry. Thank you for being here. I have to wait a moment. I definitely need to get a better PC. Holy shit. Alright, let's test this. Hey, what? Wait, something broke. What do you mean no A-star object found? Wait, is it this? Is this the problem? Let's see if that was the problem. Let's try this again. See if this works. We still have one failure. But what just happened? Why? Okay, let's try this again. What is the failure that it still gives me? Ah, wait. One of them has not assigned a star. But it's otherwise working. It's otherwise working. So let's see. Spawn manager. You are the one. You are the one. Now it should not have any failures. There we go! There we go. By the way, what are the... Ah, that's just... couldn't find node. But that is intentional. So yeah, we did it. our entire spawning system now works. And we can actually go into the plans that we have for today. I can't believe I just spent 45 minutes trying to fix this. But it works now. So that's what's important. Let's play for a bit. Whee! Are the cronies? The cronies are... Maybe I should give them more. Why are the cronies so... What's happening here? But there are more problems. It does count the... Like, it counts it above ground. That's not what I want. So... in order to change that... I go into project. I can later just mask this with a... sprite, so that's fine. But let me go into the enemy room prefab. And what we want to do is this. Needs to go way down. Like this. Now let's go into the scene, and if I did this right, yeah. That is the nice thing about prefabs. I still have to fix this one. This still annoys me. So let me go into room 4. And let me also select room 5. There. This is room 6 and room 7. And okay, this should work. This should be good now. Yeah. So now let me go into A star. And the good thing is, we can actually do a test scan here. And see if it fixed it. And now see with scan, it is still... Why does it still count the ground like this? So, in other words... this needs to go more like this. Now, A-star, give me a scan. Yeah! Yeah. See? That's what we want. That's what we want. Now the pathfinding is actually proper. We can later also just straight up remove the sprite. There, look at this. Yeah, now the cronies have the actual speed that they should have. We can barely run from the Grems, which is what I intend. But also... why are you guys still following me? Where am I? Okay, let's see if they... no, they don't follow me anymore. But also, why? Why are the objects not obstacled? What the heck? What's going on? This worked before, so... shimmy, 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 shimmy. Yep, now the pathfinding actually reaches the ground. But also, we still have some other problems. No, wait, we don't. I was just stupid. I just realized why the objects didn't have... we have to actually deactivate this for it to work. That is the ironic part. The A-Star project needs to be deactivated. And now if we look... yeah! Look at this! It now actually works perfectly. So, what I did to fix the pathfinding reaching the ground, I had this obstacle layers right beneath the ground. I was like, this should be fine, right? No. It needs to be an entire grid below for it to basically just say, don't search a way through the ground, but above ground is fine. So now, our entire pathing works. The pathfinding now works properly. We need the 50 sounder team getting your attention when you're focused on the game. That is actually a good idea. That is actually a good idea, and I'm gonna implement this tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. I like that idea. That's the problem with me only having one monitor. And the game making is actually on my laptop. Honestly, I really need a new PC. I really need a new PC. Because doing this content is like, it takes forever to load when I actually want to do something. And then I don't even see chat. So I would need a second monitor, but this graphics card in no way can handle a second monitor. My laptop is already running on everything that it has. So, yeah. I definitely need... Yeah, I know. I feel like... What do you think? Would 3,000 francs be enough to get a proper PC? Because that's kind of my estimate, like 3,000 is my estimate of... Am I overshooting? Am I overshooting with the price estimate? I thought I thought I need 3,000 for a proper PC. But your reaction tells me I'm overshooting. $3K should be able to consistently stream at an excellent quality. I like that. I like that. So yeah, that is my goal. But yeah, let's get back into game making. We have a lot to do, and we have not even started on our plans today. Because I was just fixing the spawning system until it doesn't give me a red error anymore. So, oh yeah, another thing that I implemented yesterday is the dash animation. We still don't have a proper jump animation. But yeah, we do have a dash animation now. I still don't know if is the corner dashing too broken? Because I kind of like it in a way, you know? But yeah, I do think the level is big enough now. Da, ba, da, ba, da, da. Yeah, so this is how long it takes to get to the end of the level. Which I say is... it's fine. It's fine. It's very hard to notice that the dash animation is implemented. I think, like, I see it completely fine. Like, for me, it just, like, yeah, I see the difference, like, night and day. But alright. Let's get into game making. So, what is our plan? We actually gonna, give the enemies... That's possible, yeah. But yeah, for the enemies, I'm gonna give the enemies a trigger component. Let's give them, Circle Collider 2D. There are other collider here. I might change that other collider into, into a capsule, maybe, or depending on the enemy. Like, the Borers can definitely profit from a capsule collider. But yeah, we do have the circle collider now. And we're gonna give this radius of... let's give this a base radius of 1. 1.5. 9.1. Let's give this a base radius of 1. The thing is, we can change... like, now all of them have this trigger. And we can change this on an enemy-to-enemy basis. I love prefabs. I absolutely adore prefabs. I can make the change in the parent class and it just does it for everything. Having made the enemy parent is such a good move. But yeah. Now let's see. Can we make the movement script in a way that it's modular? I feel like we can. But I'm not sure. Maybe not. Let's see. For one, the Grems, everyone but the Grems basically do need to be able to notice the player for their attack and stuff. The Grems, that's kind of the funny thing that I'm doing about the Grems. The Grems are just basically jumping all the time on just at a regular basis. They're just sure, they still run towards you, but they're just jumping all the time and dealing contact damage. So they're not really aggressive, they're just happy to be around and happen to hurt you. Which I feel like is very fitting for Chi-Chi and the Grems. I like that because I have no context who this VTuber is. Every time you say the Grems, I just nod along and have no clue what one looks like. As far as I'm concerned, a Grem is a moving brown box. I gotta send you a picture after stream. But also, eventually you're gonna, when Aneko is doing the sprites, you're gonna see what the Grems look like. Hi, Inu! Hi! How are you? Thank you for the hat pad. How's your day going? I'm doing great. It's a new year, so I'm always happy around New Year. Do you have any New Year resolutions? In general, chat, do you have New Year resolutions? Or are you just taking the year as it comes? just want to be confident. So that's kind of my resolution. $365 movies, so a movie a day. Good luck. Question. Is it 365 new movies? Or does rewatching a movie count? I've seen under a dozen movies in my lifetime, so I'm making up for lost time. I have not seen that many movies either. To be honest. Like, something my friends always look at me weird for or scold me for is I have not seen Alien, I have not seen Lord of the Rings, I have not watched Star Wars except Clone Wars, which is not a movie, it's a series. I have not seen Star Trek. Yeah, I have not haven't watched a lot of movies I have not watched. But yeah, let's go to the Grims and give them the let's call this Grim Movement. Grim Movement. Okay. Wait. I don't care if it's obsolete. It's still working, so... New Hope is 5.5 out of 10. So, you would say Star Wars New Hope is not really a good movie? Is what I'm gathering from you? 5 out of 5 doesn't sound like it's that good. Scripts. I have to actually Google how to do this again. But also, let's run this in fixed update. And we don't really need start or update, I think. And if we need them, we can always add them back. Unity? I have to Google this. How do you do an action every few seconds? Okay, let's see. Okay, no, I do need... There, I found a good script. First... Public... Float? Wait, are you actually seeing it? No, you're not. There we go. The middle hour was really engaging, but the first 3 minutes were horribly boring, and the last 30 minutes were underwhelming. Aww. That's unfortunate. Public float. Interval. And then time equals 0. Time equals 0. Time The funny thing is, when I started this, I knew practically no more programming anymore. And even if I'm still looking this up now, I perfectly understand what I'm looking at. Though I can still not really come up with my own code completely. Then... while... boop. Equals... interval. So, and then so this is what lets us do the movement script basically, because with this we add the jumping function, and this makes sure that that we have basically a function that in every time we say this, it's gonna activate it. But also, we can use this for basically like stuff like shooting. I just realized we can also basically just use this, almost this entire script we can use for the cronies as well, except with a longer cooldown and while the player is in range. The ability to read code is the only skill that carries over anytime I want to go back into programming. That is absolutely fair. I actually feel the same. Also, I'll be right back. I'm gonna refill my water. I'm back! And I just, while I was getting something to drink and went onto the toilet, I kind of figured out how I want to do this. I just got an idea while being on the toilet. That's the best place to get ideas. Anyway. We can actually look at our player movement here. Because, no wait. Not the player movement, the character controller. Because here I did a little thing. You can tell this is not originally my code because it has comments. But I still changed some stuff, so it's still partially my... Here. This is the thing that I did. And so now I realize, okay, I need also set the rigid body as a thing, so okay, let's do this. Alright. Now let's go to the grab movement. I just realized how much the grab movement actually needs specific things. I almost knocked down my microphone. Float? Let's make it public. Public. Float. And call this forward jump force and copy. And call this upward jump force. Alright. This is important. But as for the idea that I got on the toilet, is that basically I'm gonna use the velocity because moving left is negative velocity on in Unity. And we can actually use this to make sure that if the gram is moving into a certain direction, it's actually jumping into the right direction. I decided to start a letterbox account and try to leave a proper review of all the movies I watched. Have fun! Alright. Jump Force. Okay. So. Let's call this Void Gram Jump. And we say if book. Also, public Richard Body 2D. Let's call it just Richard Body 2D, that's fine. Maybe I did something wrong. Character controller. I know what I need. No, I did it correctly. How do I get the rigid body velocity? T2D? Ah, that's the problem. Why are you you saying this? How did you do it here? Ah. Is this? No. Character controller. Why? No, it's not. Is this correct? No. Maybe this works. No. Why is this not working? Let's just save and see if... Why? Let's see. On awake. Equals. Dot component. No, that's not what I want. Datagram. Body 2D. Yeah, obviously it's now private, so. My ISO's not working. Why? What am I doing wrong? Come on, work now, please. No? So now... Okay, now you have the Richibai. Yeah, now it works. Is... Wait. Ah, wait. I put this into the wrong one. Yeah. This is gonna be useful later. The linear velocity. That's gonna be useful later for the jump animation. The way I want to do it. Okay, how do I get rigid body velocity? I probably need to make the velocity private. This code is more complicated than I was anticipating. And I want to run this into normal update. Wait, no, this still doesn't give me the velocity. Do I have this somewhere? Player movement. No, this doesn't give me any info about velocity. And the character controller, maybe? Oh, wait. Actually, the linear velocity is actually fine. Equals or no. Set this. Ah. How do I... I don't want to move, I want to get... Ah, wait. That's how. Update. So... Ah, that's my mistake. Let's have this. I don't know if vector 2 is. I think it needs vector 2, right? Yeah, vector 2. And then equals. No, wait. One. Speed is not what I want though, right? No, speed is not. Ah, okay. This should work. Velocity isn't actually what we're looking for. We're looking for direction. Direction equals dot linear velocity normalized. And that's it. That should be it. right? No, wait. This still doesn't... I don't know how to do it. God damn it. How did he do it? You know what? I'm just... Just gonna copy this. And then get the necessary... Wait, facing right. How do I... There. Come on, this has to tell me something. What I'm trying to do is, I want to do it so, if the Grem is moving into the left direction, he's jumping left. If he's moving right, he's jumping right. Basically, I want to add force into the direction he's walking in. That is what I'm trying to do. I'm sure it's super easy if you know how to do it. It doesn't sound like something that would be super complicated. Yes, that's um, kind of what I'm trying to do, but I don't know um, how to make it be like how I get the value, so I know that it's positive or negative. That is kind of what I've been trying to do. Yes, but velocity, horizontal velocity is a vector. Velocity is a vector. Right? Oh! That should work. Thank you. Rich body. Velocity X. That should be it, right? Yes. That is what I wanted. So, positive is right? Yeah, it's okay. Um, that case. Where's my character controller. What I did for the dash would work here. I just need to add there. I just need to label this correctly. But I can copy it. And then also copy. Transform up. Is up correct in 2D? Yes, I think it is correct. Up is up. Is correct. And also, I'll just say this 0, so even if he is not moving, he's just gonna jump forward. I think this is better. And then actually, let's say else. Wait, where was it? Character controller. Minus. Not minus transform, right? And And now just... Grim jump. And then... So... Now we just need to figure, now we just have to find out. So yeah, hopefully it should work now. Let's figure that out. It took me way longer than I would like to, but everybody else who has something like that is gonna be so much easier now. Which... The cronies do have something similar. Except they do it on a cooldown. And only when they are close enough. So basically, you know this enemy in Silk Song? That's crawling on the ground and when you get near, he jumps at you. You know what enemy I mean? Basically this, but he's walking. Like the cronies are walking and... When they get close, they jump at you. That's my idea with the cronies. Yes, correct. Except, obviously, that the cronies are already running towards you. While I think the Haunted Pilgrim only crawls. But you get the idea. Whoops. Wrong one. Alright. Now, let's set the Grem's parameters. First up, how often do we want you to do that? I think I want you to do that once every second. What's your gravity? Your gravity is... I had to give you pretty high gravity. Rigid body, rigid body. God, I wish I would know how to sort this. Rigid body, rigid body, rigid body, rigid body, rigid body, here. Yeah, you have 45 gravity. In comparison, the player has... .4. Of course, that doesn't completely translate, but it should still... That... Of course, it's not... let me go with 100. And see where this gets us. Or, because the thing is, they are pulled by the pathing system. They are pulled by the pathing system, so... I say, 10... and... 10. Let's see, let's just put it like this and see, with trial and error, how does it work. Also, I am gonna disable... I'm gonna save this. File. Save. And I'm gonna switch scene. File, open scene. Scenes. And I'm gonna go to the sample scene. Because here it's a lot less chaotic. And I can just say spawn manager, spawn enemies 0. My personal development test room. I mean, that's literally what this is. It's a test room. Yeah, I would actually like the obstacles, so... Let's see. How does the Grim behave now? Somehow you're not doing what you're... I don't think that... I think he only gets pushed slightly every second, so... Obviously 10 was not enough. So, let's figure out... What do you say if I add a 0? This should also work for you, right? The only thing I can say is that you are a lot faster than before. Right? Maybe not. Is this even working? Wait. Well, it's fine if it's on this one, but let's add another 0. Ah! Look at this! Are you seeing this? it slightly convulses. So you only used multiplication in the jump, so it's 0 times num. Either way, we do know now that it works. We just need to think bigger. What about doubling this? 2,000? Yeah, we're getting there. I think the jump speed is actually fine now. It just needs to jump higher. Whoop! That's also whoop. We build a trampoline. Oh, actually I could. But when I do that, I actually have to change it afterwards again. What do you mean it's only jumping to the right? either way. Let's say there's 4,000. Wobble. I kind of know what the problem is, but yeah, no, he's... Wait, the spawner might actually make this kind of bad. So let's deactivate the obstacles and try this again. Wait. Also, I just realized something. You might actually be right. Why are you only jumping to the right? But also, I just realized something silly. To have a jump, we don't even need... Do we even need the right direction? We don't even need the right direction, actually. So what if... I know that means our troubles are kind of meaningless that we did, but we still learned something, so let's try this and see how he does. No, he does need the force. Otherwise, he just goes... it's hard to say. Maybe I do want to give you a bit less gravity. But then you start flying. So I also don't want that. So what if I just double this? And see how this does. You know, he... Whoopa! That is also kind of a problem. But maybe... if we exclude enemies... this might be better. Because this should mean that we can go into enemies, but enemies cannot go into us. It's... Whee! Clearly not the solution. But we build a trampoline. Hi, Swan. That's sad. This clearly did not work. Also, I did edit it in runtime, apparently. But... Graham. Let's do not 8,000. Maybe go back to south. Maybe go back to 100. I need to figure out this differently. And say 4.5. Let's approach this differently. How are you doing, Sven? Also... Alright. Now it's this. Now we have this problem, though. This is why I had such a high gravity in the first place. So did I change it here? Or here? Yeah. Let's also remove the enemy ignore. It does not help. What does kinematic mean again? What if I make you kinematic? Then you don't have gravity. That's not what we want. And we definitely don't want you to be static. Also, definitely like 100. Let's go like 10. Okay, but also anything below 1,000 is literally not doing anything. Actually, I don't think the gravity actually makes any difference in terms of the force. Required for him to jump. So this is necessary. But yeah, this is the problem. We definitely are not making the progress that I would like to. I did not expect it to be so problematic. trigger is that would not work. Wait. No, this is the up. What is this? Okay, definitely not. I also just realized he doesn't need the trigger. So I can remove this. And I also should remove it here. You don't need the trigger, so... Oh wait. Maybe... No, it needs to be collider. Wait. No, it should also apply to the cronies. Unfortunate. That's sad. How do I handle this? Because we need he needs to be able to have contact with the player for contact damage. But also... How to do this? Limit? I'm not sure how to handle this. Also, you're flying again. I unironically created a trampoline. I feel like in another case, like this kind of thing would in another case actually be useful, but in this case it's a problem. Like, I see this and I'm thinking like there is fun stuff you can do with this. Like, I unintentionally invented a trampoline. Actually, that's a good idea. I mean, that is literally less of a problem. That is less of a problem. So, I'm actually gonna do that. But also... Richard Body... 50. I don't want you to fly. Thank you. But yeah, this is actually a good idea. Our own Richard Body. Where's the Richard? Where's our Richard Body there? Let's give me 24. And let's add a 0 to jump force. And I might have to also do this for the dash. But for that, I need to increase the range by a lot. God damn, these are ridiculous numbers. Also, quick check. Does this apply? Do these apply? Yes. That's good. We come certainly down faster. Oh, it's just if when we... Wait, is it just our jump that's ridiculous now? Yes. That is fine, though. I rather overshoot. Let's go... 2,000. Okay, our gravity is okay now. We're no longer being launched into the air by the Grems. You also... Mass? It would also nerf the corner crashing, yeah. I do admit I don't completely understand mass. That's why I never touched it. But I can probably use auto mass. Also... Let's do 4,000. da 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 ba ba da. Okay, have a good day. Thank you for stopping by. Okay. Okay, that doing mass might have been a bad idea. Or right. I don't. Let's set this back to 1. Because I don't know how this works. We can play around this after we get everything else right. Okay. Ironically to say this, but I actually want it to be more floaty. The jump needs to be a bit more floaty. So maybe I have to deal with mass. Gravity still 12. Mass 3. Ah. I actually should just change it on runtime instead of going back and forth. Okay. Actually? I think this feels nice. Of course, we now need to adjust our dash. And we can actually not do that on runtime because it's limited. Right now it's on maximum. So scripts. Let's go into the player movement. No, it's character controller. And honestly, let's just remove the range. Mass is essentially a multiplier on any force inflicted on the character. So it's the stat we actually need to change to fix the trampoline, because you cranked up the gravity. Ah, okay. Okay. Thank you. So we go back to 4.8 because that was what we originally had. Crank up the... No, the mass should be good now, right? Or just use outer mass and crank it down a little bit. No, let's keep with 3 for now. Let's see how 3 behaves. And we need to triple this, so 15,000? No, probably not. 15,000. 8,000? Maybe? Let's see how the dash feels. Ah! Thank you! Also, it seems like we luckily slide off the enemy now. I feel like still That should be a bit more. Ah, fuck. I always forget. I can just change it at runtime. Now it's actually... Now the edge thing is actually kind of balanced too. No. So, this feels good now. So, now I have to fix the gram. I'm sorry! I'm sorry! Okay. One moment. Twitch... Let me see. VR rewards. Manage points. Alright. Sus is now 20 points. So if you need my need to get my attention, you can do that. But now, as for the grams, there are two problems we need to solve. Problem number one is... that their jump still doesn't feel quite satisfying. I think it's high enough, but think the sus sound is perfect for that. I mean, if people actually start spamming it, I will probably put it on a cooldown of a minute or so. But yeah. First up, what's the issue? Why is this not working correctly? The way I see it, it's always just triggering if. It's always just triggering this one. I mean, I can also do this. And if... direction... like this, and minus 0.1. Okay. And I'm actually gonna do this. I'm actually gonna debug inside the code to see what's actually happening. But do this. Let's enable it for... Let's enable it for this session. Okay. Now we can actually go into this. And hopefully my PC can handle this. No, it cannot. I don't think so. Because when I did this with the player character, that is what I did originally with the player character, and it would cause the player character to always dash right, never left. Only when I had also the minus transform right did it work. So this here, only with this is it jumping left. One theory what the problem could be is that we aren't actually that we're getting the wrong velocity, maybe? But I don't think so. It should be the right velocity. There's also still this. Actually, wait. I have an idea. If I make this public, no, wait, I don't actually need to make it public. I just need to put it in serialized field. This should tell us if what we're doing is right. Without the actual going into the code and debugging. So I'm actually gonna do this. Yeah. All right. Let's change this and restart this. And I'm gonna go on to the toilet real quick. Ba-da-ba. So I'll be right back. Hi everyone, I'm back. And we have a little guest here. We have a visit from Tara, who snuck into the streaming room. I know we're not allowed to. So I decided I'll let you guys say hi to him. Come here. Do you hear him? Do you hear him? Say hi. Alright, I'm getting him out. But he's purring. He's purring. I don't know if you guys hear it. I held him up to the mic, but I don't know if you guys heard his purring. But yeah, let's test this and actually see what the Grim is doing. So let's go to the Grim variant and position. Yes! I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! Look! Look! This is the problem. This is the problem. This is why it's not working. Oh. I'm sorry. But yes, I figured out what the problem is, but not quite yet how to fix it. But I'm gonna show you guys the problem, actually. But this is the reason he's always jumping right. But yeah, need to wait a moment. I'm so sorry. Alright. Now, what is the actual problem? I'll show you. Here. This is the actual problem. His direction is always 0. The question is, why and how do we fix it? So clearly... Why is this not working? What do you mean? Try setting to... try setting direction to 1 when you create the float? What do you mean by that? For some reason, direction is always 0. that shouldn't be the case. Why is it the case? Linear velocity is... yeah, that's... I mean... this should also not... this should not be it, but... you can send me... I don't know how to do that. This shouldn't work. It should be the X value. So this probably does nothing. Yeah, this does nothing, obviously. It does need to be X, after all. There's still this, which... I feel like this is the problem. That is literally what direction does. And by putting it into serialized field, I can see the value in lifetime. That is literally what I did with the serialized field. Also, hi Lucine! Hi. So, why is this not working? Like here. Here? Like, the only thing that I can think of is putting it private. That probably doesn't do anything, right? Why do you say... Maybe this helps? I might actually take a break. If this didn't help, I'm gonna take a break. still 0. So if I say... No, it's like... It does track it, like... If I would try to change it, it automatically would go back to like 1. It automatically goes back to 0. Wait, are you actually seeing it, or did I fuck up again? No, you actually do see it. So when I change it to 1, it automatically goes 0, -1, 0. So it does track it. It's just always 0. Why is it always 0? Also, this literally does nothing. But yeah, I think I'm going to take a break. So, thank you everyone for joining me today. I had a blast. And I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. So, have a nice day. Bye-bye.